Representing the Gen Zers, we have KiJana Jones, who is representing Gen Z. KiJana is the Director of Operations at Esteems, where she leads daily operation tasks with a passion for excellence and innovation. KiJana is the founder of The Ark Christian Lounge, a community-focused venue that provides a welcoming space for fellowship and entertainment. Her leadership and entrepreneurial spirit are driven by commitment to making a positive impact in her community. So throughout the conversation, Jen will lead us through a lot of questions. We'll have time for Q&A at the end, so think of those questions that you want to ask for that. But otherwise, thank you to this panel for joining us today.
Generation that was born with a cell phone in your hand?
Somewhat, and I'd say technology became more important in the workplace during COVID. So of course there were some things that were not so positive about COVID, but for me, I believe that Zoom calls became more important, being able to have the, option to do Zoom calls, being able to now work from home and do things that if I don't have to be with a customer. So, I mean, I guess that's a change. Also, AI has been a change for my generation as well. It's definitely a benefit and I use it heavily. It's definitely helped me. So I would say, yeah, that's the change. I was very intentional about getting a business phone. So business things happen on my business phone. So that on Sundays and Mondays that are my days off, I can turn it off and I can unplug, right? But I work for my mom full time at Esteems, and I'm also creating a business. So as I'm creating a business, there's a lot of times where I need to get on social media and post a day that I'm probably off. Or I need to get on Canva and start making social media posts. And I have an event coming up and I need to invite people. Social media is my tool. So I do understand that there should be a break. And if anybody has any advice on how I take a break, please let me know. Thanks. I believe that one stereotype that is on my generation, and I don't know if this is politically correct, but I think that sometimes people look at us and think that we're lazy because social media, technology, and things like that are so accessible to our generation. And other generations, they had to work for it, they had to grind for it, they had to, do all of those things. So they look at us and they're like, but you have it easy. And that's not true. So we just talked about that as well. And then also I believe the earlier panelist was talking about how younger generations come to work dressed unprofessionally. So I wish that was a stereotype that was not on our generation because there are, okay. It does happen, right? But for the whole generation, I think that that's a very broad stereotype because when I know I'm coming to something like this, I'm going to get dressed appropriately. And unfortunately, everyone doesn't have those tools. Either they don't have the wardrobe to do it, or they've never had someone tell them, like, hey, you can't wear that. And thankfully, this is the life that my mom lives too, so I get to follow in her footsteps and kind of make her proud, so yeah. Young person, I think that is the easiest way because emails and text messages, things get lost, tone gets lost, emotion gets lost. I can read it however I feel like you said it, and you could have not meant it that way. So definitely in person, and then I don't mind critique. I normally will ask because I am a student of my craft, I'm a student of everything. I want to know, teach me. If I'm doing something wrong, teach me how to do it better. So I definitely would ask people to be willing to teach if there is a critique. Other coworkers. So I think one thing I was gonna say is probably like 2 compliments and a critique. Like in times where it's appropriate, it's not always appropriate. Sometimes you just gotta critique. But if you can tell me what I'm doing well and then what I can do better, I can receive it better.
which we also call the feedback sandwich, right? Which many in our generation were taught not to do because then you're burying the lead.
Is to be okay with pivoting, because sometimes you have this idea of what you think should be happening, whether you're at work, whether you're in business, and it doesn't always work out that way. And if you get stuck on it's supposed to look like this and you're supposed to pivot to the right, you'll never move forward. So that's definitely one thing that I am taking with me in everything, in life and friendships, in business, is to be okay with pivoting.